What is the difference between a classroom in a traditional building and an alternative building in KPS? Is there a difference in teaching qualifications between the two classification classrooms? Why distinction of classroom if teacher qualifications are the same for all teachers? And I'm gonna have Craig answer that first.
Well, some students, learning in a Loring Norix or Kalamazoo Central, they get swallowed up. The alternative or the other types of training, like the Phoenix, they're a lot smaller class size. And a lot of times when they go, the teachers' qualifications are the same, or they are the same, but you know, they're struggling in a full-size classroom or at a contemporary high school. So these models, even with KILT, is allowing these students to graduate in KPS and plus get a KPS diploma to get the promise.
Thank you. Jason?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't have any experience in going to the alternative schools, so as a board member, I would make that one of my priorities to investigate that.
Thank you. Tammy?
But our teacher qualifications are going to be the same, or the base qualifications are going to be the same or similar throughout the district. I think that in addition, and I don't know the answer to this particular question, I think that the teachers who are in our alternative learning programs should have additional credentials related to working with special needs students or students who have experienced trauma. I think that should be a focus. I imagine that there are teachers that are there because they do have that additional training. I think though, as far as quality of instructions, we need to look at our facilities, which we are upgrading with the bond proposal. And an overall, there seems to be an overall, I don't want to say neglect, but often our alternative schools are overlooked. When we talk about events and things, pride in our schools, and I think that's something that we need to make sure that we get a handle on.
Thank you. Jermaine?
I think the difference between the traditional classroom and those that are in the alternative classroom, which of course with the idea to recover them, I was actually able to talk to a young lady today who's on the honor roll in one of the alternative schools, and she's also on phase 2, so she's going back to her regular school next month, so I'm excited to see that she accomplished that. But with that being said, I think when you have an alternative school, you have to have a different setup. If it's just changing from one building to another building, we have not rehabilitated them or developed them to recover from their trauma. So we certainly need someone that is specialized in working with students that have experienced trauma. That's the only thing that will really make a difference and recover those students, with the goal to get them back in the regular school. And so that should always be the objective and the goal.
Thank you. Do we have any follow-ups or rebuttals?
That is one of the goals. So like in ELP, they had their smaller classrooms. They set goals for each student, and they're followed and mentored. And then the goal is, 1 or 2 semesters, and then put them back into their middle school or a middle school in the district.
Very good.